What's good, YouTube? Thanks for joining me on a Market Watch. So, as I did say last week, I would jump in and do something for this week, as we do have full release now in Europe. And let's go see those prices of BT10 and a few other cards that are going to be key around this set. Obviously, certain things have come out recently, and prices will have dropped a little bit from here and there. But let's jump in and see what's going on in the European marketplace. All right then, YouTube. Davis was a big hot contender this week, as now in the UK we have had the official releases of the structure decks, which was not able to be in shops until release day, because we did not get access to the premium stuff, because the only person or company that was going to supply it to us, which was Asmodee, turned around, I think, in August and went, we're not going to supply it anymore. Could have been in July. It's been a while. But yeah, it's basically been like a really hot topic here in the UK that we just couldn't get access to it because people wanted the promos and people wanted the sleeves. But unfortunately, we didn't get access to it. But the price of Davis has crashed down to about £4 a copy. Now, there is one currently in UK, which means that for a copy, you're probably going to spend about £5 to £6 because of postage. But then when you start moving out here to the other European countries, you're probably looking at about double that price for postage. So, realistically speaking, Davis is probably more of an £8 card, so it's still up there. It's not as expensive as it was, where at one point this was like they get price rent a £10 card plus postage. Now, if we look at its alternate art, which is, in my opinion, a lot better, it's zoomed out, it's more font art styly, it's got a nice glitter, it's got a very nice textured edge to it. So anything you like that, here we go. And these are a little bit cheaper, but then you start going back up and press again. As I said before, it might be worth grabbing these if you can, but you are paying obviously postage on top of it. I mean, Tack ran who opened loads of them, grabbed them from him. He's also grabbed a couple here extra, probably grabbed 2 structure decks, and only needed 2 of them and sound them off. Now I'm quite happy with this. Price has essentially halved, but again, postage will be key, and postage will kick you in the knee. So Kuyamon, this is like the only card that I always go like, oh, it's worth so much money as a basic SR from EX2. It's the only SR that's worth real money. To be fair, I think all the rest of them are between like 2 and like 50p. It's currently £5 to £6. Obviously postage, so you're looking like £10 per one of these, so they aren't that cheap. Anything in the UK? Books, banter, and games, £10. Depending how much postage is between these two, it might be worth getting it from the UK sellers just to save 50p and possibly a little bit of time. Not sure why it'd be 6 days in the UK. I know that Thursday we do have an issue with the Royal Mail. That's probably about the only reason I can think of. Scream Maiden Mode, currently sitting around the, let's have a quick look. As everyone always likes to see, how much is the alt art? The alt art is currently sitting around the 22, so 23, £26 mark for the alt art. That's kind of where it's been sitting. This one went down quite low at some point, but yeah, it's basically where it's been sitting for a while now around this price point. If you are interested, obviously Max Rarity, beautiful card, and if you are interested in playing this Sakuya Loop deck, go for it. Maiden Mode, relatively cheap. I've seen a lot of these going for around about like the £3 to £4 mark on Facebook Marketplace in the UK. Anyone else though, if you're looking around here, prices are relatively competitive. It's like £3.50 to £4. Obviously, postage is going to be what's going to get you in the end. The first UK seller is not on here yet. UK Danboy, £4.50 plus postage, which is probably like £1.80. So you're looking with postage just under £6.50, £6.30, maybe £6.20. Probably cheapest £6.20. So yeah, depending who you buy from. Keep an eye on Marketplace at the moment. People are just trying to offload as much as they can because they've realised that they're not making much money on this stuff because everyone's chasing the shadow. And then we have the beautiful altar. I think it's a really nice altar. I think they did a much nicer job with this one than they did with the EX2 one. And yeah, you're looking at around about the 27 now. This has had a wild ride. It started off at like 30s, and then I saw these go down to 20s, then it back up to like 30s, and down to like 22. It's been quite a wild ride. I don't know if people have just been putting prices up and down over the last few days to try and manipulate the market or not, try and get a bit more. I can understand people want more money. But again, waifu cards always going to be worth some money. It's a beautiful card. If you are going to be playing this deck for a while, especially because it seems really interesting, you could do this. I don't know if it's going to have the same thing with like Chaos Galamon, where if we ever do get the evil version, it will be classed as a Sequoia, so you can just loop. Shoutmon. Good old Shatmon 5X. Kind of one of your key cards in the new Shatmon deck if you are looking to play that. Again, deck is relatively cheap. Currently sitting around about the £4 mark per card, though. This has gone down drastically. I think it's because some of these may have been alt arts or people just selling really high at pre-release. Someone probably released the 24th. That was way before pre-release. I don't know how people got hold of that early, but there we go. Then again, happens. Someone gets it in a little bit early because they know they're going to get it later otherwise. And then as they do that, it just pushes things around. There you go. First English one for sale is $7.50. I think I picked mine up for $4.50 each. I think £5 probably the price you want to pay for these currently. While everyone's just cracking boxes open, things are going to be cheap. If you're not too sure about things and you can afford it though, grab what you can now. Obviously, we have access to what's going on in BT11 and BT12, and X-Heart doesn't really die. If they do hit it with something, there is other stuff there. We'll see in the future what we do get access to here. Again, let's have a quick look at the alt art. Alt art is beautiful. Alt art is sitting around the £18 mark. That was at 30 at one point, although apparently it's trending upwards. But for now, I think people are obviously cracking these and just trying to get rid of them. And just trying to make money while they can. And this has gone down from about £31, £32 card last week at the end of the week, and now we're looking at the £18 to £20 mark. Plus postage, so again, you could be looking at extra 5 or 10 depending on what's going on. We've already looked at you. Jesmon, this beautiful card. Currently sitting quite low, I would have thought, with the structure deck and the new Jesmon deck being fairly competitive and decent. It would have been a bit more than this, more around the price that we just saw for the Sharpmon. But no, this is sitting around about 3, and then you do start going up towards 350 to 4. Although just stay along at the 350 to £4 for quite a while. Sweet and not salty at £4 for 2. Good price point. I think that's probably going to be your best bet for the UK if you're looking for a cheap postage and possibly quite quick turnaround as well. If you're looking for the alt art are going for the £15 currently. Again, you are going to be looking at either like time changes or postage. Athena's been pretty good whenever I brought from them, but you are probably paying like, I think, $6.40 per postage, which is tracked. So if you're doing a big order through Athena, it's generally worth it. If not, you probably do want to look at someone a bit more closer to home. Obviously, depending on where you live in Europe, depends on where it's probably better for you. Again, Sweet and Salty is selling one of these for £19. Again, with postage prices, might be a little bit cheaper from Sweet and Not Salty. Beautiful card though. I was never too sure of it because of how purple it is, but actually I'm starting to like it more and more as I see it. And I think this is the X antibody again. So what we'll do as well, a quick look at the Jesmon GX. Have a look, see. Jesmon GX is currently sitting around about the 16 marks. If we say we're postage £20 mark, says he's got 3 for sale here. So yeah, you probably have to postage. You buy 2 of these. You want to use 2, I think, from what I've heard in the GX version of the deck. You are looking around about the £40 mark, which is pretty good. As at the start of last week, you were looking around about the £40 after postage. And then if we have a quick nosy over to the alt art, which I think actually looks really nice, forgetting about it all totally for whatever reason. Yeah, it's come down in price, looking at 26. So if we say £30 now, I mean that's on you really. If you want to pay an extra tenner to get a nicer art, it's down to you. Preference is preference. If you're going to play this deck for a while, you might as well. And then the cheapest from the UK is, if we're looking here, so Feslo, looking at 40. So yeah, I think the UK sellers here are trying to sell high, or they haven't changed their prices since they put these up originally, maybe at the beginning of pre-release. But I do think that if you get a chance to, you're probably going to find 10 days can be quite a long time, but as long as there's no issues, obviously we're having post-stroke soon, for £30, saving a tenner, it's up to you if it's worth to get it in 10 days or if you desperately need it within the week. Again, Thursday there will be a strike. Metal X. Here we go. So Metal Greymon for BT10, the blue boy. Yeah, it's quite cheap. If you don't know, this deck isn't doing anything. And probably won't do anything because Tommy got smashed into the ground. Thank God. Bye-bye, Tommy. But yeah, this is essentially was the new core that built around the old core of Blue Hybrid. And they kind of merged together and you just had this horrible stun control deck. But thank you for Bandai for finally thinking that Tommy was not a great card. And as you can see, the price of this card has just dropped. Also, there will be some weird price points manipulation going on currently within these because Card Market doesn't add the alt art version until it gets an image. So some of the alt art sold earlier, making the prices go really weird. Let me have a quick look at the alt art grey here. 1786. I think that's a bit high personally, as this deck won't see much play. I mean, I own one of these, and I think that's a bit high still. Personally speaking, yeah. Personally speaking, this is a bit high for a card that doesn't see any play or won't see much play. it's going down then up again. I do think this will probably reach around about the 10 to 12, maybe 15 mark in the near future. But for now, I don't really see it being a worthwhile investment for a deck that's not doing much. BT8 Black War Greymon Altnarts looking around the £32 mark here. J Goodman's cards looking at 34 plus postage. 35 is probably a good point here with postage for most of these cards here. Now going up and up and up. Again, Black War Greymon looks really good in BT11. Obviously, you don't have to use this version of Black War Greymon to use that deck. You can use one of the old ones if you much prefer. And then we go into the new Black War Greymon here. Again, looking around about 13 to 14 mark. After postage, you're probably looking more around the 11 days. Yeah, you are looking around about the maybe 16 to 17 after postage. One of the most expensive SRs in the game right now, but if you want to use it in the set, you kind of do need it if you want to be playing, full-on Black War Greymon in the future. Chimera is probably one of the last cards we're going to look at now. Alt Art sitting around the 22 after postage again, looking about the 23 to £25 mark. Maybe even the 26 here. That's probably why they posted themselves a little bit lower. Again, this is a card that people do want to play, mostly in Jesmon right now. If you are playing maybe some DNA packages, maybe you just want this to have access to things on the field. Okay, this looks a bit higher than it was. Last time I checked this, these were going for like 8s. These are actually popping up a little bit. So yeah, so Jesmon players and people probably trying to stick this into maybe a Ragnarlord because they've got an extra like level 5 they can sort of play off of. And it can be any colour that's underneath it. So if you're sucking in red and the blue, you've got yourself a lovely access to a opposite colour that you need maybe, or both colours that you need. I'm just going to do one more thing here, which is I think it's Pigmon. This is the thing that people keep talking about, like being expensive. And these are, yeah, because you can't get any shiny babies in this set because they're all uncommons, I believe. So, yeah, you are a bit stuck if you want something shiny. But that's it for today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here. I do apologise if this market watch was a bit awkward or a bit terrible or a bit lazy. First one for a while. Hopefully it went well, but I'll see you guys soon. And have fun out there playing BT10. Peace out and goodbye.